Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Pretty excited to share today with you guys. What we have here is a new machine. Beefy machine in there. Well, before I tear into this, it's a new welding machine. This is my previous older welding machine. It's only a couple of years old and it's worked incredibly well for me, but it's just too small. When I get into some heavier work where I'm welding a lot of, say, 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch, and I really have to pour the metal in there, this little guy just doesn't keep up. It runs off 110 volt. It is a 20 amp circuit, but I find, again, when I'm asking more of it than it was meant to do, I'm popping breakers, and then I spend a horrible amount of time sitting around waiting for everybody to cool down, and so I've decided to upgrade to a bigger machine. So this guy is a Lincoln 140 amp power MIG, and it's pretty nifty. It does MIG, TIG, stick. You can also run a aluminum spool gun off of this guy. And again, I have nothing bad to say about the machine. I simply bought too small a machine in the first place. So a good friend of mine needs exactly this size and style of machine. And so it's going to go to him, and I've upgraded to a very similar machine, but much bigger. So let's get this thing out of the box and have a look at it. Here's some of the stuff, some of the goodies. Got our stick stinger. This looks like an adapter that you could run the machine off a 110 volt. We're not. We're going to be running it off 230 single phase. Ground clamp. Hose for the regulator. MIG gun. I'm just going to lay all this stuff out, keep it nice and organized here as I go. Oh, came with some wire feed wheels, some spare tips. Don't even know what that is, might have to read something. Regulator for our gas supply. Instructions. Protective cardboard on the pile, foam. And there she is. So we've got it out of the box here, and this is a 215 amp. It still does the MIG, TIG, and stick, but it's just got an awful lot more jam. Instructions, spool of wire. Just as, you know, for an example of overall beefiness. You know, you can tell it's a much more significant machine. So we're going from 140 amps over here that can only run off a 110 volt, and here we have 215 amps, and this can run off 110 or 230 volt. Much like my smaller machine, I find this super handy. It's got a setup here that you know, tells you for what welding process you're doing, what size wire or electrodes you have, what your thickness or gauge of metal is, and what your wire feed and voltage settings should be at. So this is all super handy information, and I do like that it's all right here, sort of under the hood, and you know, it should be there forever. There's no welding sparks going to get in there. It's a good, durable, beefy sticker. And so that'll really be handy to have.
Reading instructions?
Well, I just hate these things on it. Stuff like, Jesus, do you need to do that? Is it my voiding the warranty or something? I'd really rather take this off. I know not to lick it. I mean, there's really no, of course, the safety people are going to be on me for that one, but yeah, tag's coming off. I feel a lot better about that already. This is the MIG gun, and what I want to do, I mean, this is nice and beefy. I like this, and I want to, just for comparison's sake, I want to show you the difference between that and the MIG gun that comes on my little 140. I do want to reiterate that I've been perfectly happy with this welder. I've had zero problems of any kind with it. And it is a smaller amperage machine, and you get the smaller gun with it. Now, this bigger machine, of course, more amps, and you get a much more beefy gun with it. And so, you know, that's, well, that excites people like us, right? Beefy. So, looks like it came with a little sampler spool of wire here. Looks like solid wire, 30 thou. Yeah, meant to be run with a gas, so this is just a hard wire as opposed to a flux core. And ground clamp, pretty standard, also very beefy. We'll get that plugged in there. And this does do both MIG and stick, so this is my stick with the rod clamp on it. I am so not a welder, I don't even know if that's called a rod clamp. There's probably a name, people are gonna be like laughing at me right now, but that's fine. No, it's fine, that's fine. I never claimed to be a welder. It's just that with all the projects we do, welding comes up, and I just want to be prepared for the heavier welding when it comes up. And so, yeah, we're not gonna try and teach anyone anything about welding because we don't have a clue what we're doing here. We're just learning ourselves, but I'm just simply sharing this unboxing experience with you all. Product registration, so I guess for the purposes of it, it comes with a 3-year warranty, so I have to register it and for the warranty purposes. I don't plan on doing a lot of stick welding. MIG's kind of my go-to, and so I'm just gonna tuck that into there for now, and it'll just live there safely until if I ever do need it, that's where it'll be. But I'm going to go ahead and figure out where my ground goes and where my MIG stinger goes. So I'm all set up, got it put together. I got it actually screwed to the cart, and I kind of panicked. I opened the manual, I'm looking through the manual. How do you do this? How do you do that? Because that's how I learned how everything works on my older machine. And there was nothing there, but it's super cool. Turns out this thing, I'll just get it fired up here. So I'm just gonna go back to the start page here. So this is kind of neat. There's 4, I'm testing this out with the MIG. And I happen to be using 25% carbon dioxide, so I have it on this one. But you can also pick from, 100% CO, CV, a flux core, a spool gun for aluminum, a stick, and of course TIG. So once you find what you want, you just push the button, it locks it in, shows you how to hook the wires up. So okay, I've checked the switch is under here. This switch would be for the spool gun, and I'm on MIG, not spool gun. So that's good. So I'm gonna say okay. And I do have my gas hooked up to my MIG, not my TIG. There's 2 different ports in the back. So I'm in the right port, I'll say okay. I am using 25 thou diameter wire, so I'm gonna say okay. I'm actually using a test on 12 gauge steel, so okay to that, and boom. It gives me my voltage and my wire feed rate. Now I can fine tune those, you see, if I want to, but it tells you where you kind of should be, and I guess then you just do what you're doing, and if you find you want a little more, a little less, you can dial these things in. But I think that's super neat. It just gives you recommendations. The old one didn't. I just had to set everything up manually.
do a little test?
Well, yeah, now I'm not dressed for welding, clearly, but I'm just gonna run one tiny little bead because, you know, you get something new, you gotta see it go right away, so I'm gonna do that. I actually did run a little test bead, you know, just off camera when I was getting set up here, but just to show you guys, we're gonna do another one. So I didn't prep that material, didn't grind anything down. I just, you know, just grabbed a chunk I had laying on the shelf and threw a bead on there, and I'm pretty happy. I mean, I don't think I would adjust that either way. Maybe make it a little hotter, make it flush out a little more. Probably would do that, but I'm super happy.
Hey, girl.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. That's it for this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.